was electricity created in the Serapeum 100-ton granite tombs of Saqqara of ancient Egypt? Were these in some way ancient batteries to create electricity? This is translated from a Greek article I just found. According to Borisov's theory, it's a fascinating theory based on the case by Konstantin Borisov, who holds a doctorate in electrical engineering from Mississippi State University. He deals with mysterious stone boxes in the Serapeum of Saqqara, Egypt. They were certainly not carnivores for the bulls of Egypt, as the Egyptians led us to believe. They thought that at one point this could have been an altar for the bull, and we'll see later that could not be so. But they were actually ancient batteries that produce electricity. This is according to Konstantin Borisov, electrical engineer from Mississippi State University. Even now, no theory has been able to accurately explain how or why the 24 giant sarcophagus were transported to the area and settled precisely where they were. The dominating theory suggests that this site was used for the burial of the Apis bulls, although there are many elements that do not coincide with this belief. For example, the size of the boxes exceed the size of the bulls. And if the Serapeum was the burial of the Apis bulls, where are the mummies of these bulls then? Because they were not found in there whatsoever. But why did they make sarcophagi from granite and not limestone, a material which is much easier to work with? It's known that pre-dynastic Egyptians knew the process of fermentation. About 3000 BC, they had already used the process to brew beer and bake bread, but some scholars have said that the process was known even before that. But the secrets of fermentation seem to create some condition that lead to Borisov's conclusions. Suppose someone in pre-dynastic Egypt put concrete ingredients in a giant casket and closed the lid. A particular set of ingredients comes to mind: beer, bread, barley, and oxen, as is often mentioned in ancient Egyptian texts. As the fermentation begins, the dough begins to convert the starch in the barley to carbon dioxide and ethanol. The amount of carbon dioxide gas increases in the box, therefore creating pressure. Granite is not a porous material, and the lid weighs about 30 tons, so gas pressure should be significant before it can be opened. The process continues as long as the chemical composition of the substances in the sarcophagus and the temperature is comfortable for the dough to continue to grow, to rise. An essential ingredient for dough growth is oleic acid. It is a fatty acid found in animals and vegetable fats. Oleic acid is essential for the dough to maintain its growth rate. This acid is also necessary for the dough to overcome the toxic effect of ethanol, which would create which would be created in the casket as a byproduct of the fermentation. This acid is abundant in meat. I can only wonder the main purpose of the pieces of meat or bulls placed on the huge granite panels was to provide the right chemical ingredients for the dough to maintain long-term growth. As the fermentation continued, the carbon dioxide, the CO2 gas, creates pressure in the granite box. The granite can withstand the pressure of at least 200 MPa. To put it into perspective, this pressure is 1,000 times the pressure on tires. As the pressure increases, there will be mechanical pressure on the huge granite box. It's known that granite is composed of quartz crystals, and under mechanical strain, these crystals produce an electric charge. Thus, more pressure means more electricity is produced. That is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Now, if you think about it, all the necessary elements were present on site. As the granite boxes become mechanically stressed, electric loads will appear. The loads are typically scattered to the surface of the ground, and when the loads reach the surface, they ionize the air pockets above the ground and light up the sky above Saqqara. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the light above Saqqara being, the sky being lit by this thing? In short, I think the giant sarcophagi, these tombs of the Serapeum, these giant granite boxes, were used to generate electrical charges with the pressure created through the CO2 gas. The pressure on the quartz crystals created electrical charges on the surface of the sarcophagus. These loads were then scattered from the basement to the ground surface, ionizing the air, causing it to shine. This is unbelievable. Tell me what you think, and I'll leave a link below for you so you can watch a short video on this. And this is unbelievable. I mean, the more you learn about the ancient Egyptian advanced technology, the more you think that obviously we were not, early Neanderthal or ape men. We were obviously very advanced, and we're sort of going backwards at this point in time, aren't we? Now, more of the details concerning where this is located. The videos before this one, you'll see concerning the underground city, chambers and tunnels of luxurious rooms, over 400 of them under the Djoser pyramid, which was believed to be one of the first pyramids of Egypt. Beautiful, luxurious cities underneath the pyramid, similar to what ancient Greeks claim are under the Giza Plateau, under the Sphinx and under the pyramid. And the ancient Greeks said that under the Sphinx were found chambers and tunnels leading to the pyramids of the Giza Plateau. A whole city of thousands of rooms of luxurious palaces, floors deep. So this area was also found in the area of the pyramid of Djoser in Saqqara. This is where we find the Serapeum of Saqqara. And according to archaeologists, it was the burial place of the Apis bulls. Speaking of the living manifestations of the Egyptian god Ptah, P-T-A-H. It's a necropolis found near Memphis, Egypt, believed to have been built sometime around 1300 BC by Ramses II. Now, ever since it was discovered in 1850, this Serapeum of Saqqara puzzled archaeologists and researchers, and the tunnels that have been unearthed since then have been the subject of debate. This majestic ancient labyrinth is home to 25 megalithic stone boxes, not just one, but 25. They weigh anywhere between 70 to 100 tons. And ancient Egyptians, the builders of these incredible boxes of granite, possessed incredible knowledge in the fields such as geometry, mathematics, physics, cosmology. Part of these megalithic boxes, they have 30-ton lids. They were made of the same blocks as of stone as the body of the box. And upon discovery, some of these were blown open with the aid of gunpowder. They were so heavy. And only to find that the inside of these giant boxes were totally empty. So the researchers have no idea what the actual purpose of these giant boxes of granite weighing about 100 tons each were, which were made thousands of years ago. Now, the question of the existence of the boxes raises whether the ancient Egyptians built the boxes as memorials to the Apis bulls, and if that's so, then how come no remains were found in them? We know that the Apis bulls were considered extremely sacred creatures to the ancient Egyptians, having been one of the first sacred cults in ancient Egyptian history. Historians believe that the Apis bull was about both a deity and manifestation of the Egyptian pharaohs. And we remember that the Israelites who left Egypt during the Exodus, they were there about 450 years. They created a bull out of gold in order to adorn and worship it. I guess they got that from the ancient Egyptians at that time, the worship of these Apis bulls. Now, most of these boxes are made of granite. It's a rose granite, a very hard rock. It was mined at the quarry located about 800 kilometers from Saqqara, while other boxes were made from an even harder material, diorite, that was even found farther away from Saqqara. The boxes have characteristics that left researchers or anyone who visits the place baffled, with deviations registered in the thousandths of an inch. They are so perfectly constructed. Extreme precision, which was constructed thousands of years ago. And the question is, how is that possible? Well, obviously they had advanced technology that we don't know of today. Now, ancient Egyptians had knowledge of applied mathematics and geometry hundreds of years before the Serapeum in Saqqara was built. The intelligence and the capability of ancient Egyptians are not being questioned here. This is another proof of how advanced technology was at their hands. We know that the earliest known texts about geometry can be found in ancient documents like the Rind papyrus and the Moscow papyrus, and we imagine that hundreds of years after these ancient texts, ancient Egyptians would be able to create very precise construction with corners with a 90-degree precision. The question that remains is, how did they do this? From where did the ancient Egyptians get all this knowledge? Where are the tools that they used to construct all these things? And why are these giant boxes empty? Did they have knowledge and technology? In fact, did this originate from, as they claim, their overlords that came from the sky, from the stars, as many ancient astronaut theories suggest, or are we missing something in history? Very important in ancient history, overlooked by mainstream archaeologists and scholars. If you have any information about this, what they were used for, if you have any more information, please comment below. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.